This is the Unit 3 review for Intro to Algebra 1. This is the solving equations section. So the purpose of this is to go through and solve for the variable. In this case, all my examples have an x, so we'll be solving for x in each example. We want to get x by itself. To do so, you're always going to do the opposite operation. In number 1, we have a -3 on the left side of the x. The opposite operation would be to add 3. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. You get x is equal to 9 when you add the 3 to the 6. Number 2, same idea. To get rid of the 4, it's adding by 4. So the opposite would be to subtract 4, again, to both sides of the equation. It cancels on the left side. You're left with x is equal to 8. In number 3, this -3 is attached by multiplication to the x. It's not shown as a multiplication. We need to know that it is attached by multiplication. The opposite of multiplying is to divide. Cancels again on the left side, you get x is equal to -3. Be careful with your negatives. In number 4, this 6 is attached by division. The opposite of dividing would be to multiply. So I multiply again both sides. I have x is equal to 12. In number 5, we have to do multiple operations here because there are multiple numbers on the left side with x. First, I will get rid of the 5 because that's the reverse of the order of operations. It's also the furthest one away from the x. The opposite of subtracting 5 would be to add 5, again to both sides. You get 3x is equal to 15. The 3, again, is attached this time by multiplication. I divide by 3 to undo the multiplication. I have x is equal to 5. In number 6, I have a parentheses. I have to first distribute this 2 through the parenthesis. So that's going to be 2 times x, which is 2x. 2 times -4 minus 8 equals 6. And now I proceed like I did in number 5. To get rid of my 8, my -8, I'm going to add 8 to both sides again. Cancels on the left side, so I'm left with 2x is equal to 6 plus 8 is 14. The 2 again is attached by multiplication. I divide by 2, so I have x is equal to 7. In number 7, 3x minus 4 equals 5x. In this example, I have an x on both sides of the equation. I need to first combine my x's. I'm going to bring the 3x over to the 5x, because if I move my 5x, there'd be nothing left on the right side. I don't want to do that. Be careful bringing down the negative with the 4. You have equals 5 minus 3 is 2x. 2 is attached by multiplication. Again, the opposite would be to divide. You have -2 is equal to x. In number 6, in this one, I notice that I have a minus in front of my x. I have to get rid of the 6, so I subtract 6. It's attached sort of by that subtraction. Sometimes that confuses students, but it's a positive 6 out over here. So the opposite would be a -6. Cancels. Again, bring down that negative, just like we did with this -4. Bring down the negative x is equal to 10 minus 6 is +4. -1 here, remember the trick that we've gone over. In order to change this, all you're doing is switching that sign to be a positive, so then this side has to be switched to become a negative. So x equals -4 for that one. Number 9, 3x minus 4 equals 5x. I again have an x on both sides. I'm going to bring this 3x over to the 5x. Technically, it doesn't matter which one you bring over. However, I like to keep my variables positive, so I'm going to bring the 3 to the 5. Cancels on the left side. Again, bring down that -4 equals 5 minus 3 is 2x minus 1. On the right side, I have a 2 and a -1. Add the 1 to both sides. You get a -3 is equal to 2x. You have to get rid of that 2, which is attached by multiplication, so you divide by 2. -3 divided by 2 is -1.5, although -3 over 2 would be an acceptable answer as well. It's my x value. Number 10, my final one. I have a -4x and a 3x. Again, I'm going to get rid of the x's on both sides by combining them. I can either bring the 3 to the 4, or in this case, I brought the -4 over. Since it's a negative, the opposite would be to add the 4. You can see I did that. Combine together like terms. 2 equals 7x minus 5. You notice when I'm doing this, I put it directly in another term I will connect it with. From here now, I'm going to add my 5, add my 5. 2 plus 5 is 7 equals my 7x. Get rid of that 7, which is attached by that multiplication by dividing, and you get 1 is equal to x.